Hello duelists, Rusmero here, and today we're going to be opening Structure Deck Ice Barrier of the Frozen Prison. And I gotta say, this box is so shiny and square that it feels like a block of ice. As usual, here is our epic looking playmats with Brioneck, Gungnir, and the brand new Sub-Zero TRISHULA. Here is our Melting Destiny pack, basically a fancy name for the deck Enhancement pack, which we'll be opening later. Now let's take a look at the structure deck itself, starting with the brand new Ice Barrier Mirror Master. This card name's second and third effects can only be activated once per turn. First effect, while you have other Ice Barrier monsters on the field, your opponent cannot tribute summon. Situational, but not too bad, I guess. Second effect, by discarding one card from your hand, special summon one Ice Barrier Tuner from your deck, but after this effect's activation until the end of the turn, you can only special summon water attribute monsters. But man, wait a minute, that is not a problem or a restriction for Ice Barrier at all. That is such a strong effect. Third effect, if you have to discard or send cards from your hand to the grave to activate an Ice Barrier monster's effect, you can banish this card from the grave instead to replace one of those cards. This is an excellent new level 4 support monster for the archetype, and it basically supports the deck's mechanics whether it's on the field or in the grave, and allows you to perform synchro summons really easy as well. I really like this brand new card. She's also in a brand new rarity where I think you guys can see that she basically has a typical super rare foiling, but there's also like the normal parallel rare shatter foil over her as well. So they kind of call this new rarity super parallel rare. I mean, I'm honestly not too much of a fan of it. I'd rather they just give us her in the normal super rare. I think that looks much better without all these shattering pieces. Next, we have Vessel Miko of the Ice Barrier. This card name's first and third effects can only be activated once per turn. First effect, if you have an Ice Barrier monster on the field, you can special summon this card from the hand. So again, supporting easy synchro summons. She's not a tuner though, so you want to have a tuner on the field. Second effect, if you have other Ice Barrier monsters on the field, your opponent's defense position monsters cannot change their battle position. Third effect, if you have an Ice Barrier monster on the field, you can banish this card from the grave to special summon one Ice Barrier token to the field, which is basically a water attribute aqua type monster at level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense. But this is really good because it supports synchros as well by giving you an additional level when you need it, especially so for Trishula and Sub-Zero Trishula, which have the summon conditions of 1 tuner plus 2 or more non-tuner monsters. So you'll need that extra 1 monster in order to have the right amount of cards. Very nice, very nice. She is also in super parallel rare. Up next, we are moving to a spell, and this seems to be secret parallel rare. Secret, but with the normal parallel shatter foil. The Calm after the Ice Barrier Storm. This card name's first and second effects can only be activated once per turn. It's a normal spell. First effect, by tributing as many Ice Barrier monsters on your field as you like, special summon the same number of level 4 or lower Ice Barrier monsters from your deck with different names. Wait a minute, this is sick. Like basically, even if you have like the wrong configuration of monsters on the field whose levels don't really match, as long as you have the right numbers, this spell allows you to basically swap out all the monsters on your field for the right ones, instantly connecting into like any Ice Barrier synchro summon that you want, as long as you have the right number of monsters. Second effect, by banishing this card from the grave, add one Ice Barrier monster from your grave or one of your banished Ice Barrier monsters to your hand. But you cannot activate this card the turn this card is sent to the grave. Man, that is good too. But I mean, yeah, this is just the general trend of like powerful spells and traps for archetypes nowadays, where they have a pretty good effect from the hand, and then once they're in the grave, they have this secondary effects which you can use to recycle something as well. Very nice. Here we have another new Ice Barrier monster. Seems to be just normal parallel, not a foil. General Wayne of the Ice Barrier. So unlike the 2 new Ice Barrier monsters that we saw earlier, General Wayne is a warrior type and he's level 5. This card name's first and second effects can only be activated once per turn. If there are monsters on your opponent's field and you have Ice Barrier monsters on your field, you can special summon this card from the hand by passing the tribute requirements. Second effect, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Ice Barrier spell trap from your deck to the hand. Third effect, while this card is on the field in a monster zone, all of your opponent's spell traps that are sent from the field to the grave are banished instead. All around, this guy is pretty good too, but a trend I'm seeing here is that these new Ice Barrier cards have a lot of effects that basically allow them to be special summoned from the hand or allow you to to special summon other Ice Barrier monsters from your deck. And the advantage of this, of course, is that the Ice Barrier monsters tend to have effects that trigger when they have other Ice Barrier comrades on the field, so it's really helping you like set up a united front with several Ice Barrier monsters on the field, which will then allow you to activate all of your effects to generate advantage or move into like a synchro summon using them as materials as well. Very cool stuff. So next here we have, well, this is a Sea Serpent type, I believe. Frost Spirits of the Ice Barrier. Now this guy is a level 1 tuner. This card named second effect can only be activated once per turn. First effect, while you have other Ice Barrier monsters on your field, all of your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack and defense. Wait a minute, this guy is really good. And second effect, during your main phase, by sending one level 3 or lower Ice Barrier monster from the deck to the grave until the end of the turn, this card's level becomes the same as that monster's. Wait a minute, this is such a flexible and good tuner. That is just great. And I mean, you can always just get spare copies of this guy on the field just to like reduce the power of your opponent's monsters as well. So versatile. I'm just really loving these new Ice Barrier monster cards. I mean, especially since I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! During the start of Zale, so back then Hidden Arsenal was still a big thing, so Ice Barrier is a big part of the start of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Journey. Very cool stuff to see these guys come back like that, and well, we're definitely moving into reprints. Now, I'll probably get some of the names wrong because their names in Japanese don't fully exactly translate into their TCG names, but I'm pretty sure this one is Prior of the Ice Barrier. This one is, I have no idea how to translate this. I'm just gonna go with literal translations, alright? So pardon me if I get any of these wrong in the TCG. Dance Princess of Ice Barrier. Wait a minute, we're going to spells already? Crystal of the Ice Barrier. Crystal Wall of the Ice Barrier. You can only activate one card with this name per turn. It is a continuous spell. First effect, when you activate this card, you can target one level 4 or lower Ice Barrier monster in the grave, and if you do, special summon it. Pretty good. Second effect, while this card is on the field in a spell trap zone, and you have 3 or more Ice Barrier monsters on your field, all of your Ice Barrier monsters are unaffected by the effects activated by your opponent's monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. Okay, we've been waiting for a card like this. This really pushes like the whole Ice Barrier mechanic of like swarming and getting multiple monsters on the field. That is really nice. Okay, this is definitely Medallion of the Ice Barrier. I recognize this one. Salvage! That is a nice reprint. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, since I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! At the start of Zale, I was really big on the Shark Water Attribute deck back then, so this was a great card for that. And now we are moving into, well, cards with no kinds of foil on them. Blissed Defender of the Ice Barrier. This is a Strategist of the Ice Barrier, I think. Guardian of the Ice Barrier. Destructive Mage of the Ice Barrier. Sealing Mage of the Ice Barrier. I'm definitely getting some of these wrong. Wait a minute. This guy is Strategist of the Ice Barrier. Okay, then I'm not too sure what the one previously was. I guess like Spellcaster or Magician of the Ice Barrier. And yeah, okay, I remember this one. This one can't really be translated, so it's like Dai Sojo of the Ice Barrier in the TCG, I think, but it's more of like a Great Monk of the Ice Barrier. And here we have Raiho, the Lion General of the Ice Barrier. And next we have the Spirit Channeler of the Ice Barrier, I think. And Gantara, another Lion General of the Ice Barrier. Grunat, another Lion General. I guess they're probably just called Generals in the TCG, right? And here we have Janex Controller, cool. And of course, since we're seeing this, we need another Janex card, right? And of course, Janex Undine. I remember these guys so much from like Tag Force and like me playing all the Hidden Arsenal decks on the PSP. Here we have Aquaria, the Water Sprites. Actually, just at a glance, the reprints in this deck don't seem that good, especially compared to like the structure deck R's. And here we have one of the turtles. Sorry, I have no idea what the TCG name for this. It's like the magical knowing turtle. And here we have another. Wait, did I say turtle? I meant frog. And here we have another frog. And Fishborg Launcher, that is a nice reprint for me because I think you guys in the TCG got it in a pack. Was it Abyss Rising? But for us, it was only like an event exclusive or like a promo, I think. So it's quite nice to get this guy always. Fishborg Launcher, and of course, really good card for water attribute decks. And here, Molan Glacier, one of the Elemental Lords. Very nice to see them always. and Silence Angler. From the cards, it seems a bit more like starter deckish. I don't know why, maybe it's just me. Like, at least compared to the other structure decks we've gotten recently. Here we have the Triangle Formation of the Ice Barrier, another reprint. The Mirror of the Ice Barrier, pretty good counter against opponents' banishing effects. Oh wait, this is Surface, right, Surface. Another nice card that goes with Salvage. Where Art Thou, this is a pretty good reprint though, and level 1 monster, right, it goes super well with the Frost Spirit that we saw earlier, so that's a nice synergy there. And Designated Executor. I don't think you guys have got this card yet. It's only been available as a promo in the OCG so far, so nice reprints here. And it is pretty powerful for getting rid of like popular tech cards that most decks tend to run. Here we have a Designator of the Red Lotus. I believe this is a very old card from 5Ds. Like, I read the effects a bit like when it was revealed that it would be reprinted in this deck, but I mean, I guess it's okay. I don't see it being that powerful. And okay, Fiendish Chain, of course, very good. Of course, known as Demon's Chain in the OCG. Vanities, I think this is banned for you guys now, but it's limited to 1 copy in the OCG, so still usable. Mental Drain. Is this Skill Drain? Ah, no, right. The art is different, right? This is Mind Drain. It blocks effects from the hand. Not as good as Skill Drain, I guess, but it can be useful in some situations, I suppose. Great Storm of the Desert. This is the one that I think allows you to get rid of the, I think, up to 2 of the opponent's spell traps, but you sacrifice your battle phase, so it's a really good card to play during your opponent's turn. And here we have a Big Catch. This one, I think is quite notable to me. I think it's pretty good, like even competitive wise, because it allows you to steal control of an opponent's monster. Of course, you can't do anything with it, but I mean, just by doing that, you're basically heavily obstructing the opponent's plays, and I don't think there's a restriction on like tributing it or using it as material to summon. It just stops it from attacking and activating its effect, so pretty wait, it's it's continuous trap because of course it has to remain on the field while you have control over the opponent's monster. And finally, we have Dularein, the Tiger King of the Ice Barrier. Now, I remember this guy so much from the pack art of, I believe, pack art of Hidden Arsenal 3. Let me know if I guessed it correctly. And I'm sure some of you guys remember, but this guy allows you to return your face-up cards to the hand in order to gain a 500 attack boost for each until the end of the turn. Now let's check out our pack of Melting Destiny. Are you guys ready? Let's check these guys out. Very nice, and this is the brand new version of Trishula, the Sub-Zero Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Doesn't he just look insane? Like, he has the same kind of intense aura that I think Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon has, like from the artwork. He's just so cool, man. I love this new card. I do not love the fact that they put Shatterfoil over him. I get that they kind of want to give an Ice theme, but I don't like it. Anyway, following off from that, we've got Brionac, Super Parallel. Oh my god, if only they didn't put the parallel on these guys! Followed by Gungnir and Trishula, the original. Man, I do not think I have a full set of all 3 just yet, so it is very nice to be able to collect them like this. I think I only have Brionac and Trishula right now, and even my Trishula is from Rarity Collection, I think, so I would still kind of like to get an original Trishula. And here we have a brand new trap card, Pulse of Trishula. This card name's first and second effects can only be activated once per turn. First effect, apply these effects in sequence based on the number of Ice Barrier Synchro monsters you control with different names. If you control at least 1, banish 1 card your opponent controls. At least 2, banish 1 card from their grave. And at least 3, banish 1 random card from their hand. So yes, essentially this is just a trap card that embodies the soul of Trishula. And second effect, when your opponent activates an effect that targets Ice Barrier Synchro monsters on your field, you can banish this card from the grave to negate it. The ultimate offense and the ultimate defense. And finally, the Supreme Sub-Zero Trishula, a level 11 monster that requires 1 tuner plus 2 or more non-tuners to synchro summon. This card name's second effect can only be activated once per turn. First effect, when this card is synchro summoned, you can choose up to 3 cards on the opponent's field and banish them. This effect is non-targeting. However, because it's a when effect and not an if effect, there is a chance for the opponent to basically mess up your effect timings and cause you to miss the timing on this effect. So I guess that would be the main downside. Second effect, if this synchro summon monster is destroyed by your opponents, you can special summon one normal Trishula from your extra deck or graveyard, and if you do, its attack power becomes 3,300. And if there are any face-up monsters on the opponent's field, all of their attack is half and their effects are negated permanently. Now this is a beast of catastrophe, truly worthy of ruling over the Ice Barrier. And with that, we've just finished opening our structure deck, Ice Barrier of the Frozen Prison. Overall, I don't know. Based on the cards I've seen, my sense is that this is not that great of a structure deck competitively, but it's great for collectors. However, of course, the most notable card here is the new Sub-Zero Trishula, and although it's an Ice Barrier monster, it literally has no Ice Barrier restrictions, like it's basically a vanilla synchro. You don't need any specific kinds of monsters to synchro summon it, so you can basically run it as tech in any form of synchro deck, and I think that is the form in which it will be most frequently used. Anyways, as usual, if you guys enjoyed this video, do give it a like. Let me know what you guys think about these new Ice Barrier cards and reprints in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG booster box and product openings on the day of release. Our next release is going to be the brand new booster pack Selection 10 next month on December 5th. It's basically like a spiritual successor to the Link Vraids pack, where it prints new support and important reprints for past archetypes and introduces a few brand new archetypes to the game as well, for a total of 10 decks. In particular, there's a new archetype in Selection 10 that I have my eye on. It's called Holy Knights, kind of like a Christmas themed Punish archetype, which features a retrain of Seiya Ryu, also known in Japan as Holy Knight Dragon. That's where the link is. So make sure you guys subscribe if you don't want to miss it, and I'll see you guys in the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. Our chance encounter brought color deep into my life. I will shelter you, protect you.